Hey, what is up guys? Tyler here with Insomnia Team. The later it gets, the more awake I get. You know, my brain turns on at night. So, I was about to try to go and head to bed, but I just received a couple of very interesting new findings by a fan and viewer of the channel who sent me some Google Earth coordinates a couple of seconds ago on Twitter of the anomalous structure she had found in the ocean using Google Earth. Now, Google Earth, it's a fun piece of software to play with, and we have found some very anomalous things, not only on land, but at the bottom of our oceans. Structures that do not look to belong. So, there's two separate anomalies that I'm going to show you guys today, courtesy of Urbix Girl on Twitter. So, here we are on Google Earth. We're going to put in the first set of coordinates, and we're going to fly to what we are calling the South Pacific Anomaly. In a virtual no man's land, way out in the Pacific Ocean, nothing near it. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Alright, so we'll just stop right here, just above this thing, and we'll slowly zoom in here. Now, this is the object, right here. And what you're going to see is this, almost what looks like a pyramid. It's a cone-shaped object, towering up, and it actually has a circular base around it. So imagine kind of like an ice cream cone, a cake cone, and that'll kind of give you an idea here. So let's go ahead and slowly zoom in, and here's our first little friend right here. Now this immediately stuck out to me. This was the first thing that the viewer on Twitter sent me. So I hadn't even seen the second one that's really going to blow your minds here. In a second when I show you, but I saw this first and I said, whoa, this looks artificial. And again, sitting out at the bottom of the middle of the Pacific Ocean, there's nothing around it. And as you can see, this has like a ring around the bottom of it. It's got a base to it, and it's a perfect circle. It almost kind of looks hexagonal. So possibly this was hexagonal at one point, and it's just been eroded over, I mean, gosh, who knows how many years. And so we're getting a more circular, smooth surface feature. So we see this circular base here, and in the center of it, we have this cone-shaped tower sticking up. One side is being hit by the sun, the other side's in shadow, and you can actually see what looks like an opening of some sort at the very tip of this cone-shaped tower. You can see it doesn't come to a complete fine point. It stops, it goes flat. We see the circular top here, and we see a smaller circular hole or indentation right in the top of this thing. So it kind of looks like the end of a crayon. We all know what crayons look like, and if you were holding a crayon right on its edge with the end of it facing you, this is what you would see. Something very similar. And again, shapes like the crayon are artificial, obviously. Nature does not create these cone, crayon-shaped structures that have a base wrapping around the bottom. Again, perfect circle, another circular tower in the center, and then a flat circular top and opening at the top of the tower. So that leaves us with one question: what the hell is this? And again, look at the surrounding terrain. This thing looks like an engineered object, and it really makes you wonder, how did this thing get there? Did someone build it? Is it even a building at all? Is this some sort of ship? Notice how it has this saucer shape to it, very similar to the saucers we see in our skies. Even a building at all. Is this some sort of ship? Notice how it has this saucer shape to it, very similar to the saucers we see in our skies. And we'll go ahead and measure this thing. So this thing is around 2 miles. So the next question is, how does something that large end up being built with such perfect and, obviously artificial features? And now we're going to put in the second coordinates. So we'll pop those in here. Now this one really blew my mind. And well, we'll talk about it when we zoom back in on it. So let's go ahead and zoom in. The coordinates have been entered and they are taking us right to it here. Alright, go ahead and stop a little ways above it. The way that I can best describe this, and the way the user who found this described it as a crashed saucer that has dug out a trail in its wake. And that's exactly what this is. So here we are, and we'll go ahead and zoom in here. Here is this long dugout trench, and notice at the end of it, we have a saucer-shaped object popping up out of the shadow. A a thin saucer from the looks of it, because you can actually see the shadow of this thing being cast on the wall behind it. This, I mean, completely screams crash site. You look at crash sites on Earth, these things slam down into the dirt, skid across, digging out these trenches before finally coming to a stop, usually with the vehicle still halfway dug into the soil, just like we're seeing here. We're only seeing the top half of this thing. The other half is still dug into the sand. Most of this trench here is in darkness, it's in shadow because the sunlight isn't hitting it. However, seeing here, we're only seeing the top half of this thing. The other half is still dug into the sand. Most of this trench here is in darkness, it's in shadow because the sunlight isn't hitting it. However, the left inside wall of the trench is being hit by sunlight. So this is definitely a three-dimensional trench that has been dug out. And we definitely see this circular object sitting at the end of it, casting a shadow on the trench wall, and has looked to have come to a final stop. So let's go ahead and measure these two. We'll measure the object as well as this trench here. Alright, so this object is roughly 1.6 to almost 2 miles in length. Another object that's near 2 miles. So let's go ahead and measure this trench that's been dug out here. Alright, that goes to about, depending on where you start and stop, between 13 and 14 miles long. Which is actually probably what you would expect to see if a 2-mile large craft were to hit the ground and skid across. I could see it creating a 12 to 14 mile gap in the soil before this thing finally came to a crashing halt. And again here, guys, nothing's been done to this. You're seeing it exactly as any of you will see it if you look on Google Earth and check this out for yourselves. There's nothing else around here that looks remotely like this. And I mean, you can see the object sitting at the end of it. Clear as day, there it is. It's casting a shadow on the wall here. Perfect circle. Perfect saucer shape. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that. So, you know, we have two very anomalous discoveries here. Awesome job by the woman who found these. We posted a video probably 6 months, maybe almost a year ago, where we featured another large saucer-shaped object that had zigzagged for like 20 and 40 miles, sliding across the ocean floor, making turns, going left, going right, just sliding across the floor. This giant 2-mile wide, perfect circular object. You're seeing that here. And I'll post the link to that video down in the video description. If you're into the channel, think they know it all, you know, likely are NASA or government shills using some suspicious account that they created literally 3 minutes ago. And, you know, we'll try to fool everybody and give some super scientific sounding reason for why we're seeing what we're seeing. And they do this for everything, whether it's space, UFOs, the ocean, everything. Trying to belittle us and put everyone back to sleep and, you know, basically call you ignorant to your face and hope that you take the bait. I mean, you guys have probably seen it 1,000 times. And we get these people on every video. There's always got to be some debunker out there, ultimate, official, super smart debunker guy, who seems to post comments using about 10 or 15 different YouTube accounts. Oddly enough, most of them linking back to some strange IP address back in Langley, Virginia, or the NSA or some shit. I mean, these people are out there, but as far as these anomalies, I'm pretty firm in my stance that these are worth a look and these are anomalous. So, let me know what you guys think. We have the cone-shaped structure, and we have, you know, what looks like a crash site of some sort. So I'll leave the question as to how all that happened and what you guys think it might be up to you. So bring your opinions and give them to me down in the video description. I'm getting a little loopy. It's getting a little late. I think I'm going to hit the sack for tonight. So be sure to stay tuned. I've got a lot more coming. And I will see you guys here in just a bit. So thanks for watching and stay safe.